Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new edition of Virtue and Vice right here on thebigvitobrand.com. And I am Virtue, not being joined by the remarkable Robbie Vice this week, as I said, hey, Robbie, it's WrestleMania week. Let's take the week off of talking about wrestling. And I'm bringing Big G on because we have a non-wrestling topic today. What's up, Big G?
I'm doing good. Like you said, it's WrestleMania week. We got the Hall of Fame later on tonight. So I am ready to discuss this awesome topic.
So the topic is, we're going to go back and forth 3 rounds. So we're going to end up naming 6 total best movie trilogies in our opinions of all time. We may have some at the end where neither one of us mentioned it. We can do some honorable mentions. So what I want to consist of a movie trilogy is this. There can be a movie after it, but those original 3 are just considered a trilogy. So, you know, they're pretty broad in terms of what we can choose here. So this is how I want to do this. You're going to name one first, right? Okay. And then you'll talk about it, and if it's whether I liked it or not, I'll add my 2 cents, and then I'll go, and then we'll end up naming 6 of the best movie trilogies of all time. So are you ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, so I'm interested here to see which one you're going to steal off my list, because I know you're going to say some and I'm going to say some. That's why I wanted to make sure we had at least a half a dozen each.
Yeah.
Because then we know we're going to at least be able to name 6. So, go.
Well, obviously, I'm going to start with one of the best trilogies out there, I think, and that's Back to the Future trilogy.
Yeah, and it's if I went first, I would have named that one first. So, tell me why. Obviously, before I speak on it, it's your choice. Yeah. I agree with you, but tell me what makes it so great for you.
Well, obviously, I like the actors that are in it. You got Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Leah Thompson. I can't think of the guy.
Crispin Glover. He was in the first. He was in the first one. Christopher
Biff.
Lloyd.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
The guy that played Biff.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. It's like Tom something, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. It's one of those.
Anyways,
Biff. Let's just call him Biff.
Biff. There you go. I like the storyline of it. You know, the first movie, obviously, they go back into 1955, and you know he meets his parents when they're younger, and like you think of that, man. Like, what if they actually there was an actual time machine, and you went back into time and you saw your parents when they were younger. You know,
and your mom had the hots for you. That'd be weird.
And the mom had the hots for you, and obviously the second one, you know, they go back to technically the future to 2015, you know, and Marty messes up the timeline with buying the sports almanac. Biff gets it, and the older Biff gets it, you know, gives it to younger Biff. They go back to 1955. Marty's there. While Marty's there, you know, so that's cool. And then obviously the last one, they go to the Old West, which was pretty cool. You know, you see their ancestors, you know, and
Mad Dog. Nobody calls me Mad Dog. By the way, it's Thomas F. Wilson, I believe.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. And then, you know, Doc gets married, has kids at the end, and then eventually, you know, like I said, one of the greatest trilogies, and it's still talked to this day. And the one I had was the 25th anniversary. I believe it's the 30th or 35th anniversary this year.
I think I have that same one. And, like, you know, it's amazing.
And they spawned off a cartoon, so.
It's amazing that, like, Crispin Glover didn't want to come back for whatever happened there. And, you know, it's funny because when you watch part 2, they had some flashback scenes, but they also had some other guy play his character. And you notice when they were in the future, he was like hanging upside down. They tried to distort it as much as they could, but they still pulled it off. Yeah. You know, the girlfriend changed. Now, obviously, Elizabeth Shue is more known today, right? She ended up playing the girlfriend, Jennifer, in the second and the third movie. Yep. But yeah, all-time classic legend. And Christopher Lloyd, Michael J. Fox, like, what a duo.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, it's timeless.
Hats off to them.
Steven Spielberg produced that. All right, so my first one, you know, obviously we scratched that one off the list. You know, and I could name a bunch of them here, but when I look at what 3 movies is back to back to back that I love watching, all 3 of them, still to this day, we're going to stay in the 1980s, The Karate Kid. Okay, the first movie when Daniel and his mom moved from New Jersey, she got a job, in California. He was just a kid that left his friends and he was not happy to move, and he got bullied, and he ended up meeting Mr. Miyagi, who was the maintenance man at the apartments, who taught him karate. And basically it's just a great story because Mr. Miyagi, an older Japanese man, became friends with a Jersey kid because of, to protect himself from bullying. And he entered a tournament, ended up winning it. And, just a great, Elizabeth Shue was in that movie as well.
Yeah.
And the part 2 was awesome because then it went over to Japan, touched on the heritage. Obviously, Miyagi's father was sick. That one, there wasn't a tournament, but it was kind of like that dance festival at the end.
Yeah.
And I think, what was his name? Chance? Or who was the bad Japanese guy that he obviously that was like a live or die type situation because he really wanted to hurt people. Yeah. He had his knife and everything, and Daniel fought him. And just the music, I think that was the Glory of Love song came out of that one, which is classic. And obviously the hurricane scene. And so the guy that wanted to fight Miyagi, his friend, right, that were trained both by his father, over a woman they wanted to fight because of honor, ended up rejoicing in the end. And that was a great story. I don't think a lot of people realize part 2 had a pretty damn good story in it. With Miyagi and everything that happened around that. Daniel was actually the afterthought in that movie with Kamiko.
Kamiko, yeah.
But that's not that that's a bad thing. And of course, the third one was just to do a third one. A lot of people crap on it. The girl was in real life was younger than
Daniel, yeah.
Yeah, and so therefore they chose not to make it a intimate relationship. So I kind of thought they could have got like a 20-year-old girl to play a 17-year-old. I don't know why they didn't, but it was still good. The Terry Silver character was great. I'll always remember from that movie when he went wah, and then Miyagi beat him up in his own dojo, and then did the whole wah wah right back to him. And of course, I think Mike Barnes was the guy that was supposed to come in, and the dude looked pretty intimidating. We all knew a bully or somebody that looked like that in high school, and Daniel won again. Daniel beat him. So not a great movie, but it did cap off the trilogy pretty good. And I like the whole thing with the store and the bonsai tree and the way that all played out. So if you go back, it might not have been the best of the 3, but it actually has some charming late 80s, early 90s action quality with the bad guy Terry Silver. So any thoughts on the Karate Kid?
Yeah, I mean, you were the one who recommended it to me because, honestly, I'm a big movie guy, and I had never watched the Karate Kid before in my life. I heard about it.
It led to Cobra Kai, and I think a lot of people out there are infatuated with this series because they're tying the old movies into it, which is a treat.
Yeah, like I said, I love all the movies. The 80s was the time when like movies were really great, and Cobra Kai is a really good TV series. Like I said, it's tying in with the movies. Season 4, we might see some new people in there that are I think for movie 3 that might be in there. Like Mike Barnes might show up, and the other guy might show up. I don't know, but so far I'm liking it. And Kreese, I tell you what, man, Kreese is one bad mother effer. I'll tell you what. But so, I like how Daniel and Johnny, they have a common enemy now in Kreese, and Elizabeth Shue is back in there. Hopefully she's in there in season 4, and then Johnny's got his girlfriend, and with I can't think of the kid's Miguel. Is it Miguel? I can't think of his name now.
I think so, yeah. Oh, and by the way, in Karate Kid Part 2, it was Chosen.
Yeah,
Chosen. Yeah. I watch these movies all the time, and I never stick the name.
Yeah.
Some of the names, like obviously Daniel, Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah. Well, for my second one, I think I'm gonna stick with the 80s as well again. And I don't own the collection yet, but it's on my list. But I've watched it plenty of times, and you can watch it on Paramount Plus. The Indiana Jones trilogy.
There you go. Indiana Jones.
The last one,
you enjoy the Big Vito Brand program, why not support us on Patreon? Patreon.com/The Big Vito Brand, where tiers start at just $1 a month. We have positive messages, talk shows, interviews, travel shows, and more on Patreon.com/The Big Vito Brand.
I'm up next like I got the call from Vito. We not some average Joes, stay escaping from Leos. So call me Big Vito, I got a kick like a shotty. And like Ciroc, you're taking hard shots to the body. They had you in a dress, but you were still styling. And if they talk crap, hit them with the code of silence. Told these haters get on me, your style stays sloppy. Tricking out the...
All right, Noel. Vito's not around right now. Okay,
Right.
So because I love Viti, and we got Viti not even freaking here right now. What's going on?
I know, that keeps happening. He's always, I don't know, he's Viti. He's always busy.
And of course, I'm your host, Big Ray Hernandez, and it's been one hell of a week. What's going on, Vito? How are you, buddy?
Doing good.
I think he's losing too much weight.
Yeah, you look a little skinny. Don't get offended.
Yeah, he
You
always
look a little
gets
thin.
offended.
So you look a little thin in the face, like in the neck here. You look
Yeah,
really, really
like
thin.
too much here, right? Don't you bite me.
No, but
Vito,
I think my upper lip is way too thin. And like I have it lined so you can't tell. I think it's too thin. So I wanted to get lip fillers this week. And Vito made the dermatologist tell me that I didn't need it. I know you told her that to tell me I didn't need
no,
lip
I
fillers.
didn't.
I wanted to get lip fillers and he said, no, I'll look like a duck.
You look stupid.
But you pose for every picture like this. But you're gonna tell me I look with like a duck with
Because I'm a good-looking motherfucker. That's why, girl.
Well, I'm not a good-looking motherfucker, so I need to get those lips.
all right, hold. Not gonna look
I
good.
need
I-
it, guys. Just a little
No.
right here.
No,
It looks stupid.
Look, I think it looks great.
No,
you know,
it looks stupid.
you know that I'm always on you. You know, well, not always, but I'm usually on Noel's side on this.
99% of the time, you're with on Noel's side. You talk to her at night while I'm at work. It's fine.
What? Hold on, somebody's calling me. What? Hello?
Exactly.
Such a.
I don't like the guy much.
They're called Vito Ugly.
Yeah, called me ugly.
Dave Meltzer called Vito ugly.
Yeah, of all people. He looks like the fucking troll.
He legit. Are you kidding me? You ever seen He-Man the movie?
Yes.
You know
Yeah.
the little fucking weird guy,
Yeah.
he looks like that.
I always say he looks like the little Hobbit guy from Labyrinth.
Yes.
So,
He's so
You know,
gross.
when people-
his fucking tongue and
when-
shit.
Ugly, according to Dave.
Fuck.
when
outta here.
people insult me and they say I'm ugly,
No,
unattractive, fat, I don't know what I'm like,
out of here.
bitch, on my worst day waking up with crust in my eyes, I still wake up and get ass, okay?
Too. I
You
really
know,
do.
you guys make up your fucking mind what you want
We
here.
want Vito.
We want this Vito right here. I like your
Being
smile.
happy. What the hell?
This is
It
good.
wasn't about the gimmick. It wasn't about the gimmick. He was just really funny. And then when the gimmick came out, it was a sold deal.
Oh wow, Vito, was it the gimmick? Be honest.
Was it the gimmick?
Baby.
You also want to make sure you're happy with the gimmick. If he comes out with a tiny one, he's got to know how to do other things that are
Babe.
important.
Sure.
Here's the thing, baby. And you know, there has not been any dissatisfied customers at the BIGB from the LOG.
I always care.
Are you really wearing those?
I put these on my arm, you know, and I throw fucking combinations. That's how I do, you know. These things are like 10 pounds each. What?
He's got little wristlets.
They're fucking amazing. I'm like Wonder Man instead of Wonder Woman.
He's got Wonder Man.
I'm actually up for a position.
Oh, I'm sure you are, if you know what I mean.
And he can go to work naked, apparently.
Apparently,
You drive in the car and just get out of the car and like, balls
It's always
out.
like around